Welcome. Today we will learn about inheritance in C++. Inheritance is a powerful feature of C++ that enable us to reuse attributes as well as member function of the existing classes in new derived classes. The existing classes are also called base classes and the new derived classes are also called child classes. So let's start by creating a new project using dev C++. As multiple times we have discussed before, we have to start our new project by clicking on file option. Click on file option, select project. Here we have to select console application, then C++ project, then project name will be specified here. Okay, start here console application C++ project. Let's suppose we are naming it inheritance. Click on OK, save into the directory. The by default project lines are given here. We can see here by default project lines are provided by the dev C++. Okay, let's start by creating a base class. Let's suppose we are creating animal class. Its private members and age. The private member access specifier are not accessible in derived classes. We are now declaring protected members. Let's suppose this is string name animal, and finally we are going to declare public members of this base class, which is named as animal. White can eat. Say out. I can eat. This is the very simple function with no return values and no arguments or parameters. Just wants to demonstrate the level of inheritance and reusability in inheritance of different data members and member functions of C++. Okay, we have to add here using namespace standard std. Let's elaborate this. This is the class animal where we have private member functions, private attributes, which is age, and this private attribute is not accessible in all derived classes as well as outside of the class. Secondly, we have declared here protected data members. Protected data members are specially defines the scope of the data members which are accessible only in derived classes, not outside of the class, similarly as private members, but these members can be accessed in derived classes or child classes. And finally we have defined the scope of the public data member or member functions. These are the member functions or data members that can accessible in all child classes, derived classes as well as outside of the class. Here we have to clear one thing, that what is the scope of the access specifiers in derived classes. So let's start by discussing first private member access specifier. Here we can notice that private member access specifier contains one attribute int age. This will also private in derived classes. The protected member access specifier will be accessible in derived child classes, as well as public access member will also available in child classes as well as outside of the class. This member access specifier is not available outside the class, only inside the child classes. This is outside the class as well as in child classes, and this private access specifier is not available outside of the base class. Okay, let's create a derived class. Let's suppose we are creating a dog class. derived from this animal class. We have to specify the scope of the derived class. We are specifying here public animal. Here we can write its own private, protected as well as public access specifier. We are just providing here public access specifier to access the write down the new function. Let's suppose can bark. Here we will have to write down cout its own feature I can bark. Okay, here we have to notice that the member function which will be created from this derived class will able to call can bark as well as able to call can eat, because eat is a public access specifier and accessible in the derived child class. Okay, now let's create an object of the derived class, that is called of d1. We can see here d1 dot can break, can bark as well as can eat. We can see here both functions are available to the object of derived class, can eat and can bark. This will, we are going to call the function of base class can eat. Okay, let's compile. Before compile we have to save this file of C++. Okay, save it. Compilation is successfully, and we again have to monitor that we are going to call function of the base class that is accessible. Now we have to check either this age is accessible or not inside the child class or derived class. We are going to creating a new function that is set, named as set age and a. We are going to access this age attribute in our derived class, and in its public function age is equal to a. So now check it, d1 dot set age is available here. We can see here set age is available here. Set age, we are giving it 12. Now we have to notice that I am showing you here is a error message within the context. Why it is not accessible in this context? Why? Because this is age is private data member of the base class. Okay, now we are going to try access the data member which is defined as protected, to show that protected access specifier are accessible, easily accessible in the child classes. So let's start. We name it as set name, and this function is renamed. We are going to change the name. Okay, name as okay. We are going here to change the name as puppy, saving this project, and similarly we are going to write the setter or getter of the class cout name of dog is name. Here we will have to handle. Okay, now let's check Is there any error? Yes, there will have to call the set name. Okay, compile it again. This is compiled successfully, but we can see that we only call eat function of the base class. Now we are going to call d1 dot get name. Then it will display the name of the dog, that is called puppy. We can see here name of dog is puppy. Just sake of handle is not used, output is not sorry, much more clear, we can use here can bark, handle, similarly can eat, handle. Save this project and again run this project. Here is the output much more clear than before. We can see here if we change or call the base class method, then it will only called if this is declared under the public access specifier. Okay, now we are going to create another class. We are going to discuss the multi-level or multiple inheritance. For this purpose we are going to create another class named as blah blah, named as, we can rename it as, what will name, let's suppose robot. Interesting. We can define here only one function. Report can fly. Robot can fly. I have written here I am robot and can fly. Okay, now we are going to discuss multi-level inheritance here. What is multi-level inheritance? In which one derived class is inherited from multiple classes or base classes. We just have to place comma, provide here inheritance specifier and the class name robot. Now what will happen? Same thing that we will have already discussed, that the all private members of the base class robot will be private in the derived class dog, all protected will be accessible in the derived class, and all private public will also accessible in the derived class. Okay, we can call, it's mean that we can call d1 dot can fly. I want to again display you d1 dot, here we can see here d1 set name, get name, as well as d1 can fly, derived object can also fly. We are going to call it, show the result. Now this function is from base class, called from the derived class. This function is from derived class, and this function is also from other base class, that is used to indicate or show the demonstration of multiple inheritance. Similarly, we can inherit these classes to multiple levels. This is multiple, and multiple level means we create another class. Let's suppose this is called class dog name, let's suppose hash or puppy, and we derived it from dog class, access specifier public and dog class. This will called multi-level inheritance, and this is called multiple inheritance. This is called single and multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. So at the last, I am going to summarize what are these access specifier. We have to just clear this concept. What is meant by inheritance access specifier here? If our inheritance access specifier is public, then all public members or data members or member functions will be public in the derived class, and protected will be the protected in derived class. One point is to clear that private member functions, private data members will not accessible inside the derived class or outside the class. These are only property of the class where these are created. Okay, and if access specifier of the inheritance is protected, then the public access member functions and data members of the base class or parent class will be the protected in the derived class. And last one, if the access specifier of inheritance is private, then all the public and protected access specifier member functions as well as data members will be converted into private in derived class. Then this type of multi-level inheritance will not able to access the grandparent protected access specifier if their relation or inheritance is private. Okay, I have to clear here in single line. If we have, there is data access specifier, public, private and protected. Here we say that inheritance, here we say that derived will access or pursue. If inheritance is public, then public will be the public and protected will be the protected. On the other hand, if we say that the inheritance nature is protected, then public and protected will both converted into protected. And the last one, if our inheritance nature is private, then all the public, private and protected will be the private in derived class. Is this clear one? This is the nature of inheritance, and these are the access specifier in base class and the behavior of these access specifier in derived class depending on the nature of inheritance. So thanks, keep watching. In next lecture we will discuss polymorphism and virtual function, pure virtual function and function overriding in derived classes. So keep in touch.